Patty, it's not a goodbye. We'll just see you later.
I hope so.
How about that?
I hope everybody will come to France.
I'm happy to have as our speaker, Ricky Hardy. Ricky is the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity over in Marion. He has had that job full-time since February of 2011. And he is also a minister at Firefall Bible Church and has done that a while. So between Habitat and being a minister, his hands have been full the whole time. And it's been quite interesting sitting up here today with Mike and Ricky both. I wish we'd have had a little more time to learn some other things. It was quite an education for me. But anyway, would you please welcome Ricky Hardy?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come and talk with you about good news and bad news. Bad news is, have you completed your test yet? It will be graded. You'll need a pass to get out. No, just joking. I do this to kind of give me a start. When I go speak to groups, I never know where people are with their understanding of Habitat for Humanity. We've got some that are very familiar with Habitat. We've got some that don't have a clue about Habitat. So I'll use these points in a few minutes to talk about Habitat. The good news is Habitat for Humanity is going to be coming to Dillon County. We get numerous calls each week and have for years about people that need a new home, people that need repair work from Dillon County, and our hands have been tied. I mean, I hear stories from some of these people when you hang up and you tell them you can't help them, it breaks your heart. You want to cry. Because each Habitat affiliate is restricted by Habitat for Humanity International to a certain geographical service area, which is typically the county in which you operate. So we had to go through, file paperwork with Habitat for Humanity International to get approval to come to Dillon County, and it has been approved. So where we're at in the process right now, I'll be meeting with our attorney tomorrow to start the name change process with the Internal Revenue Service, Secretary of State. And once we have those documents back, I will have to send those back to Habitat, and once they approve it, it's a done deal. So we're coming, just don't know exactly when yet. How many of you know a little bit about Habitat for Humanity? If you'll just look at your sheet, I'm just going to go through each of these things, and because as I say, when we get calls, people a lot of times will say, so-and-so told me to call you because I need help. I need to get one of your homes. They think we give away our homes. When there's just a lot of misconceptions about Habitat. Habitat for Humanity International is we are a Christian ecumenical housing ministry. We seek to bring people of different faiths together to build people a simple, decent, affordable home. Nothing fancy. Our goal, the goal of Habitat, is to eliminate poverty/substandard housing from the area in which you operate. So that's what we are. Habitat was founded back in 1976, which was the year I graduated from high school in Loris. And it was founded by, a man named Millard Fuller and his wife, Linda. Now, I'm going to throw in another name, Clarence Jordan. Clarence Jordan was an ordained Baptist minister. He's originally, I guess you would say, one of the founders, because Clarence started this concept called the Koinonia Farm in Americus, Georgia. Koinonia Farm was just a place where the poor in the community could come, plant their crops together, and then they shared in their crops. Koinonia is a Greek word which simply means fellowship. Then later on, Millard Fuller and his wife Linda came along. They were multimillionaires when they were in their early 20s. and they started having marital problems, and they didn't want their marriage to end, so they sat down, started talking about the issues that they were going through, and found out that money was the root of their marriage problems. Imagine that, millionaires and money's the root of your problem. So they decided to give their money away. They started looking for areas to just give away their millions, and they got hooked up with Clarence Jordan and said, wouldn't it be a good idea if we take the concept of combining farming resources and we put small homes on these farms for people to live in? Thus, we have Habitat for Humanity International. Since Habitat's founding in 1976, more than 800,000 houses have been built, and over 4 million people internationally have been served. Habitat is now an international ministry. I don't know how many countries we operate in, but there are a lot of countries. Our particular affiliate was founded back in 1994. Actually, we were chartered by the state on Halloween, October 31st of 1994. How did we get started? It just a group of concerned citizens from Marion County wanted to do something about the housing conditions that they saw, and formed a board, and then they got a charter with Habitat for Humanity International, and here we are today. That's what it takes. It takes people that have a concern for other people as they're driving through the area that they live. Let me give you an example of a phone call I got about 5 years ago from a man that once lived in Dillon County. He lived in Dillon. I don't think he even told me his name. Living in Washington, D.C., came back to visit his hometown and called me and said he was just heartbroken over some of the homes that he saw in Dillon as he drove by. He said, look, my family's got about 20 acres of land located off 38, not far from I-95 in Dillon County, and I want to give it to you. 20 acres of land to build houses on. It was hard to tell that man I couldn't take the land because we couldn't build there. So I started, that was kind of back when the push got started for Habitat to come to Dillon County, when you get offered 20 acres of land to build on. Since our founding, our particular affiliate has built 47 homes. We're currently on our 48th home in Mullins, and we've remodeled 5 homes. That may not seem like a lot to you, but when you look at the resources that we currently have in Marion County to help us to build, that's quite an accomplishment, I think. We have built more homes than some of the Habitat affiliates in larger cities have built. So I think it's a great work that we do, and we, like I said, we're looking forward to bringing that over into Dillon County. Each Habitat homeowner, and this depends upon each affiliate because that varies, but the homeowner family has to put in what's referred to as sweat equity into their own home, or the home of another Habitat homeowner, to give them some ownership, because we don't give these homes away. So for our affiliate, each Habitat homeowner family is required to do 250 hours of sweat equity. That could mean coming out to work with the groups that work on the home. It could mean just keeping the grass and the weeds cut on the lot as we build the home. They can get credit through going through homeowner training. When I started with Habitat, I was amazed at the number of people that still had the tenant mentality, because a lot of our homeowners came off of a farm where the farmer had the home. They didn't know that they had to do things like change an air filter in their heating and air system. They didn't know just simple maintenance things that could help them. So we offer classes, and they can get sweat equity for going through those classes. Funding for a Habitat home is provided by Collegiate Challenge. How many of you have ever heard of Collegiate Challenge? Johnny, Gordon, you've heard of Collegiate Challenge. Collegiate Challenge is a youth program sponsored by Habitat for Humanity International. That program started in '96 and we got started in it the first year. That is where college students give up their spring, winter, fall, summer breaks to come and work on a Habitat home. And they pay us, or pay the affiliate, whatever the affiliate fee is, to come and do the work. What we do is we house those students while they're here for a week in area churches, and we contact businesses, civic groups, individuals, churches to provide their meals for them while they're here. Now, not all affiliates do that. How much time do you say I had, William?
1:30. No, about 5:10.
Okay, 5:10. I don't want to keep them more than I'm supposed to. Collegiate Challenge is a big part of what we do. For instance, Dillon University has been coming to Marion County twice a year since 1996. And before COVID hit, they would bring from as few as 12 students to as many as 20 students each time they came. That's a lot of free labor. Anything that we can get free helps keep the cost of that home down for that family. And if you know anything about what's currently going on in the housing market, materials and labor are sky high. When I started in 2011, it was costing us about $60,000 to build a Habitat home. We're looking at about $135,000, $145,000 nowadays to build a Habitat for Humanity home. Once that home is complete, we sell that home. We do not give the homes away. This is where one of the major misconceptions about Habitat is kind of like the old, what was that show that used to come on where they built a house in about a week and then they gave it to the family, moved that bus. We don't give the homes away. We sell the home with 0% interest. Johnny, you got any rates like that at the bank?
No, we don't.
0% interest, typically, it's a 20-year mortgage. We can go, they used to let us go as high as 40 years, but now they've backed it up to no more than 35 years. But most families go with a 20-year mortgage. Really, with 0% interest, you're not paying back any more money. You're just paying back a longer term. You just got maybe 5 more years of your life that you've got now to pay that money back. So that's the way those homes are sold. And we have to sell that home at cost, whatever we have in the cost of that home. And I use a program called QuickBooks for all of our financial transactions. I enter all the costs for that home, and I can go to my reports and look at exactly what the cost we have in that home is. If we have $75,000 in the home, that's what we have to sell the home at. We can't sell that home for a profit. We also have to get that home appraised. So if we have $75,000 in it, the house appraises at $100,000 because a lot of this stuff is free labor. We don't want that family to make a lot of money off Habitat and upon those that gave of their time. So we'll carry what's referred to as a silent second mortgage for the difference between the appraised value and the cost of the home. So if it's $100,000, they have a silent second mortgage for $25,000, and that depreciates over the period of that mortgage. That way, if they decide to sell the home, they still got some more skin. They still have some skin in the game. Y'all follow me there? The benefits of having a local Habitat affiliate, it builds relationships among people. As I mature, I'll be 64 in September. We've gotten away from relationships. Most of our relationships is with this little thing right here now. Personal relationships with people that we may know, people that we may not know. Habitat, as you're working on a home, it builds relationships. It also gives a sense of community. Some of you older folks, do y'all remember things called barn raisings, where the community would come together to help one another out? to help a farmer build a barn. I remember a group that came to help my grandfather years ago, who was a tobacco farmer in Loris. It gives you a sense of community. It also builds unity in the body of Jesus Christ, locally and globally. As these different faiths come together, these different denominations come together to work on a Habitat home, it builds the body of Jesus Christ. We're living in a day and time where a lot of people are being turned off by denomination, by the way that we act, the way that we come across. And they want to see the love of Jesus. What we've got to be reminded of is that it's all about kingdom work. As a Christian ecumenical housing ministry, it's not about this particular church getting recognition or this church or that. It's about building kingdom work. It's about building up and encouraging people. And as I say that, I definitely want you to look at some of these interesting facts about the impact that Habitat for Humanity has. There's 36 Habitat affiliates that are located here in South Carolina. Not every county has an affiliate. These 36 Habitat affiliates have an annual impact upon the South Carolina economy in the neighborhood of $20 million each year. So see, we're giving back as we're pumping money back into our economy. More than 2,500 Habitat for Humanity homes have been built in South Carolina since 1985, and more than 3,000 South Carolina families have benefited through new homes and critical repairs. The average Habitat for Humanity family has an income of 30 to 80% of the area median income. And last HUD figure I looked at, and it may be a little more, I think it's around 42,000 right now for Marion County. I do not see where HUD gets that figure. Do you go, I mean, you live, it's below that. Children of homeowners, here's where it really gets good. Children of homeowners are 25% more likely to graduate from high school if they have a safe, simple, secure home. They're 116% more likely to graduate from college. They have 20% less likely to become teenage mothers. They have a 9% higher math score and a 7% higher reading score. I'm not making these figures up. These come from the Neighborhood Reinvestment Corporation that did the study for Habitat. They have fewer behavioral problems. They're 50% more likely to own a home within 10 years of moving away from their parents' home. They save taxpayers and public expenditures, the cost of juvenile delinquency and teenage pregnancy. And they're 15% more likely to vote. I mean, we voted a couple of weeks ago, and the turnout where I voted was, I mean, it was miserable. We're voting today. I guess y'all are having runoffs in Dillon County. Yeah, we are in Horry County as well. Today's a special day. People have an opportunity to vote. And these kids that come up in a Habitat home are 15% more likely to vote. I think Habitat's a good thing. I could talk about Habitat on and on. When I spoke over at the Dillon Rotary, a couple of the members afterwards said, man, I can tell that you're enthused about what you do. I am very enthused about what I do because I see it make a difference in the lives of people. And I'm sure you don't have to drive too far from here to see people that need hope. People are looking for hope, and Habitat provides hope. Let me close with this. Two of our primary areas in Marion County where we have a street of homes. We have a good many homes on Manning Street in the city of Marion, where the old Heritage Sportswear used to be. Used to be known as the Ponderosa. That's what the police department called it, the Ponderosa. The area was so rough so riddled with crime, the police officers didn't even like to respond to calls in Ponderosa. We had a family that came along and donated that tract of land. We bulldozed down all the crack houses, built new habitat homes, and it changed the community. Another area in O'Neill Street in the town of Mullins, right across from Palmetto Middle School. Another area riddled with drugs. Family donated the land. We came in, bulldozed the homes. And we have now, I think there's 7 nice habitat homes right there on O'Neill Street. It changed the neighborhood. The principal at the time, I don't remember his name right now, wrote letters of recommendation for us about the impact that he had seen in the community when we built the habitat homes. I hope y'all catch the vision. Because this is how you can help. Number one, as we come into Marion County, we're going to have to build relationships. It's going to take churches, civic groups, businesses, and individuals to help us to have the same impact that we've had in Marion County. We're going to have to build relationships here. You can help by donating land. For every dollar that we can save in land, we've had one home. All of our tap fees used to be donated to us when the cities owned the water and sewer rights before Grand Strand got involved. We had the very first home we built in the town of Nichols. Before we ever put a shovel in the ground for a foundation, we had $10,000 in water and sewer tap and permit fees in that home. That's a lot of money before you ever put a shovel in the ground. So if we had had to buy the land, that would have driven the cost up even more. We can, as a 501c3, we can give people a tax write-off on any donation that you give. We're going to need an office over here. I can't, by myself, I cannot cover Marion County and Dillon County. We have hired a gentleman that's going to be my assistant. His primary duties will be Dillon County, but he's going to need an office. Maybe it's just something temporary until we can get something that will better fit our needs as we grow. It's going to be a growth process, and I hope we can depend upon you to support us in that growth process.